been oh so lazy. King James not a Scot, and the internet.
King James not a Scot, and the internet proves it. You know what? That reminds me of a book. But if we are going to talk about a book here on Backpack Radio, there's a certain way we've got to do it, isn't there? So, just a minute. Backpack. Are there any books by Hebrew Israelites which have the teaching that King James was actually part of an Israelite black aristocracy that ruled Europe during the so-called Dark Ages? Could you help us out, Backpack?
Backpack, magic backpack. I'm the make the Mac attack backpack. With this sack reacts, I'm like a maniac. I got stacks of facts to keep you all on track.
Wow, looky here. Here's a book called The Negro Question Part 4, The Missing Link. This guy's a historian, writer, teacher, and he played pro basketball in Venezuela and Australia. He wrote The Negro Question Parts 1, 2, and 3, as well as this one. Let's see what he has to say. Wow. It's amazing. This book contains images of the black Scottish kings. King James, Charles I, Charles II. This book provides indisputable proof that the black Irish, Scots, Welsh, French, and Italians are walking in the ghettos of America. And look, here's King James, the King of Scots, right on the front. Clearly, he looks like Mayor Dinkins. Well, a lot of you don't know who that is. So, clearly, he looks like Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. This image doesn't look compressed at all to me. It doesn't look like it was taken off the internet and poorly compressed, and power suggestion makes you think that this is actually a picture of a black person, even though he was Scottish, and we have his family tree because he was a king. Ignore all that. We've got page 8 of this book. Let's see what it says. I know that this image of a black King James can be a little confusing. Yeah. Because of your Western education. Oh, that's the problem. But this is the truth that is known by the rich and the elite in the world. Did you know the rich and the elite, according to this book, know King James was black? They've been hiding it from you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep in character here. Yo, dude, why? Okay. That was the reason I paraded all of the English historians and professors before I got into the bowels of this book. Page 8 is in the bowels of this book. By the way, what do you get when you have bowels? What's it produce? And how's a book on page 8 considered the bowels? Oh, man. I had to get your mind ready to receive the truth. King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings. 343 years of rulership in Scotland. Now, here's what's so funny. One time a dude was debating me, and he's a Hebrew Israelite. And he's like, yo, Stuart actually means black in some other language. So that's further proof by the etymology of his name that King James is black. And I sit there and I looked at this guy's profile, and I was like, this dude's last name was White. I think his name was like Andre White or something. I was like, by that logic, you're white. Your last name is White. He didn't even understand the irony of it. I thought it was the most amazing transaction ever. The Stuarts not only ruled in Scotland, they ruled France, Spain, Ireland, and England, Britain, Wales. King James was able to rule all these lands because all those people were Iberian, black descent. That's why he could rule them, because they were of the same nationality. Yeah, you couldn't rule someone if you're of a different nationality now, could you? They were the same people. By the way, that also means he was selling his people into slavery, because guess what? Under King James, Europe, including England, was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. Oops. If you look at the ball in his hands, see the ball in his hands? It represents world rulership. And there was only, it's the way it's worded is funny. There was only one other group of world leaders who used this type of symbolism. And they were the Byzantine Roman emperors. So only one group had ever used the ball in the hands representing the world before. Remember, they told the English that they were Roman citizens. This is the proof. There was another man who made the same boast. And if you have wisdom, you know who I'm talking about. He lost me on here. Listen to this. This is one of the signs of scholarship. when you are able to read the symbolism of images. By that logic, half those jokers with the Illuminati websites thinking LeBron James is part of some secret cabal are scholars. This is insane, and yet this is the stuff they put in their books. In my research, I found out that the ancient Scottish was a tribe from northeastern Ireland, which means the Scots are really Irish. So if I have seen an ancient Scot, I have seen an ancient Irishman. I guess you haves. And if I have seen an ancient Irishman, then I have seen an ancient Briton. And the point he's making is saying they're all black then. As you can see from the Scottish King's list, King James I of England was a descendant of the black Scottish kings who claimed the thrones of Spain, Ireland, England, Wales, Scotland. In order to reinforce the testimony of Professor Boyd Dawkins, I have provided you with an image of other Stuart kings of Ireland. So the book is filled with these silly pictures. And, if you want to get this book, you can. Because it'll actually, break down this stuff to you. He gets more into it and thinks he proves his point. But you know what? I gotta be honest, y'all. After I read this book, because I try to have an open mind, so I got into this book. You know what I mean? I looked into it, right? And I'm gonna show you guys something. I feel like I need to share this with my listeners. Okay? I do. Let me show you something, guys, real quick, because I'm open-minded, and so after I read this whole book, I gotta be honest, man. Like, it kind of threw me for a loop. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say threw me for a loop, what I mean is like, I walked away realizing the truth. You know what the truth is? The truth is that King James really is black. The information is right here. Only a fool would not recognize it. Only a fool would not be able to see the obvious truth that King James was black.